I'm going to present a seminar on nephron sparing surgery. It is guided by Dr. Manoj Pandey, Department of Surgical Oncology, IMS BHU. Now, introduction. Renal cell carcinoma accounts for about 3% of all adult malignancy. It is the most lethal of urological malignancy, with 40% of patients dying as a result of cancer. Before surgical management was only due to only the possibility of cure for localized tumors, as earlier RCC was found to be chemoresistant. Robson's classic radical nephrectomy demonstrated overall 5-year survival of 52% in the large symptomatic masses, and radical nephrectomy remained the standard to which all treatment of the RCC were compared. Now, kidney sparing surgery entails the complete local resection of the tumor while leaving the largest possible amount of normal functioning parenchyma in the involved kidney. Jarni is the first surgeon to perform deliberate partial resection of a renal tumor for angiosarcoma in 1887. 18 years after the first nephrectomy by the Simon in 1869. Sorry for the misprint. 1869. Surgeons then started to perform partial nephrectomy in various cases, but the operation lost favor and abandoned due to fear of extensive hemorrhage at the operation, delayed bleeding following surgery, frequent and persistent urinary fistula following operation, and poor results due to injudicious use of partial resection to treat neoplasm and tuberculosis of the kidney. V. Moulton in 1950 laid the foundation for the modern nephron sparing surgery for the renal neoplasms. He revisited the concept of local excision with a margin of normal parenchyma for the encapsulated and peripherally located renal tumors. In 1993, List and Novick reported early favorable results in 241 cases collected from the literature from 1967 to 1991 of partial nephrectomy with a normal opposite kidney. Initially described for the patients with a normal contralateral kidney with an absolute indication for kidney sparing surgery or elective indication for a small renal tumor. Now it is done whenever the preservation of renal function is critically important. Partial nephrectomy is feasible for localized renal masses less than 5 cm in size, and also for tumors more than equal to 7 cm by those who expertise with the kidney sparing surgery. Partial nephrectomy preserves the renal function and theoretically may limit the chronic kidney disease related sequelae. Now, the indications of nephron sparing surgery: conditions that pose a threat to the future renal function, such as hypertension, diabetes mellitus, coronary artery disease, nephrolithiasis, or baseline chronic inflammation. This type of disease, like partial nephrectomy or minimally invasive partial nephrectomy. The various advantages of the open partial nephrectomy is oncologic outcomes are similar to the radical nephrectomy. Advantages are it maximizes the preservation of renal function when the warm ischemia time kept short, that is less than 20 to 25 minutes. It also decreases the pain and morbidity. It leads to shorter hospital stay and improves the cosmos. The disadvantages are there are higher complication rates for high complexity tumors and in less experienced hands. There are also lack of sense of touch to with the surgical margin, and local recurrence rate may be higher than open partial nephrectomy in such situations. And also there is larger ischemia. For the minimally invasive partial nephrectomy are small renal masses up to 5 cm and occasionally larger, and low to moderate complexity tumors. Now, there are various systems to classify when the renal tumor or RCC should be taken for open nephrectomy, or when we should take for the laparoscopic nephrectomy or robotic assisted nephrectomy. The first one is the renal system. Kutikov and Ujo in 2009 proposed renal nephrometry score, which includes radius, which scores the tumor size, the maximal diameter, exophytic or endophytic growth. Third is the nearness of the deepest tumor part to collecting system or the sinus, and anterior posterior location and location related to the polar line. Renal system is scored on a 1, 2, or 3 point scale. The radius is subdivided according to the TNM staging, like that is less than 4 cm, more than 4 centimeter but less than 7 centimeter, and more than 7 centimeter. Exophytic and in 50% exophytic, less than 50% exophytic, or entirely endophytic. Nearness of the tumor to the collecting system or sinus is measured in millimeters. That is more than 7 millimeter, more than 4 but less than 7 millimeter, or less than 4 millimeter. Regarding location, the polar line is designated as a plane of the kidney above or below which the medial lip of the parenchyma is interrupted by the renal sinus fat and the vessels or the collecting system. Tumors are graded in being entirely above the upper or below the lower polar line, crossing the polar line, and being more than 50% across the polar line, or crossing the axial renal midline, or being entirely between the polar lines. Lower renal score, that is sum of 4 to 6 or 7 to 9, should undergo minimally invasive partial nephrectomy, while the lesions with a score of 10 to 12 should undergo open partial nephrectomy or laparoscopic radical nephrectomy. Now, this is the diagram which shows what are the points. The main important thing, the fourth one, the anterior posterior, no point is assigned as a descriptor of anterior posterior or X, like that. Now, the Padua score. It is published by Ficarra et al. In 2009. It is an abbreviation of preoperative aspect and dimensions used for the anatomical classification. It entails 7 parameters, that is anterior or posterior face, longitudinal location, that is upper, midline, or lower, defined by the kidney sinuses line, more than 50% crossing the line, less than 50% crossing the line, or the between the sinuses line. Third is the rim location, that is lateral or medial. Fourth is relationship with the sinus, that is without or located or extended. Relationship with the collecting system, it is either present or absent. The percentage of tumor deepening into the tissue, that is 50%, more than 50% exophytic, less than 50% exophytic, or completely endophytic. And also the maximum diameter in centimeters, that is that less than 4 centimeter, 4 to 7 centimeter, or more than 7 centimeter. Each of these parameters are given a score ranging from 1 to 3. The final output is a single sum score. The main difference to the renal score is the uses of renal sinus and corresponding sinus lines to topographically subdivide the kidney into the upper, middle, and lower part. The sinus lines are usually identified on CT MRI by the appearance of the adipose hypodense tissue inside the renal parenchyma. The other difference includes the other difference to the renal system score is inclusion of renal sinus involvement as a separate parameter and inclusion of the imaging modality like CT or MRI. This is the this is the 7 parameters and with the scores. In this, the maximum the endophytic growth has the maximum score 3 points, and also the tumor size more than 7 centimeter has the maximum 3 points. A Padua score between 8 to 9 means a 14-fold, and a score of 10 means a 30-fold higher risk of complete score. Now, another is a C index. Simons et al. In 2010 described a tumor centrality index, that is C index, in 133 patients who underwent transperitoneal laparoscopic partial nephrectomy were analyzed. There were 3 variables. Y is the height of the y is the height in centimeter from the hilar center to the plane of the maximum tumor diameter along a vertical 90-degree axis. X represents the horizontal distance from the central hilar axial reference point to the tumor center, while the C is the hypotenuse of the triangle formed by X and Y, that is the distance from the kidney center to the tumor center. And last is the diameter, that is divided by 2 to obtain the tumor radius. And next, the ratio, that is C to R, is calculated to assess the proximity of the tumor edge to the center of the edge. Now, this is the diagram showing the renals, showing the distance of the edge of the tumor to the renal sinus center. The higher the C index, the lower is the central extension of the tumor, and nephron sparing surgery should be more feasible with the lesser chance of the complications. Mean C index in this study, mean C index was 2.7 and was independently associated with warm ischemia time. The ischemia time and the operating time are longer, and estimated blood loss was higher in tumors with a C index less than 2. Now, the various now the various evidences on partial nephrectomy versus radical nephrectomy. Now this is a paper. This is a paper published in the Journal of Urology in 2009 by Huang et al. That summarizes if there is any difference between the mortality and cardiovascular outcomes between partial nephrectomy and versus radical nephrectomy in patients with small tumors. They used a SEER data to identify 2,091 patients older than 66 years who were treated with radical nephrectomy or partial nephrectomy for renal tumors 4 centimeter or less between 1995 to 2002. The primary endpoints of the cardiovascular events and overall survival were assessed using Kaplan-Meier's survival estimation, Cox proportional hazard regression, and negative binomial regression. The results: 2,547 patients, that is 81%, underwent radical nephrectomy, and 556 patients, that is 19%, underwent partial nephrectomy. 609 patients developed a cardiovascular event, and 1,892 patients died with the median follow-up of 4 years. After adjusting for preoperative demographic and comorbid variables, radical nephrectomy was associated with an increased risk of overall mortality, greater number of cardiovascular events after surgery. They concluded that radical nephrectomy is associated with significant adverse treatment effects as compared with partial nephrectomy, and partial nephrectomy should be considered in most patients with small renal tumors. There is another paper by Thompson et al., which is published in Journal of Urology in February 2008. They compared the partial nephrectomy with radical nephrectomy in small renal tumors. Using the nephrectomy registry, they are 2003. Patients with a solitary kidney or impaired renal function at presentation were excluded, with 648 patients available for analysis. Overall survival is again estimated by the Kaplan-Meier method, and association with the death were evaluated using Cox proportional hazard regression. At the follow-up of 7.1 years, 146 patients died of any cause, and 502 patients were alive. Radical nephrectomy and partial nephrectomy were performed in 290 and 358 patients respectively. In all patients, radical nephrectomy was not significantly associated with death from any cause compared with partial nephrectomy. In 327 patients younger than 65 years, radical nephrectomy was associated with death from any cause compared with partial nephrectomy. The increased risk of death persisted after adjusting the year of surgery, preoperative creatinine, symptoms at presentation, diabetes at presentation, and histology. They concluded, as compared to partial nephrectomy, radical nephrectomy associated with decrease with smaller renal masses. Now, there is another paper which by Claudia Jedras et al. In Urology, published in 2009, which compared partial versus radical nephrectomy with adverse clinical and pathological characteristics. That is, tumor size more than 7 centimeter, histological Fuhrman grades 3 or 4, or had the stage P-T3-1A. At 13 participation center, 4,072 patients with partial or radical nephrectomies were performed for RCC between 1984 to 2001. They were matched for age, gender, tumor size, T-stage, histologic subtype, and Fuhrman grade for survival analysis to address the effect of nephrectomy type on cancer-specific mortality. The results were partial nephrectomy for tumors more than 7 centimeter was associated with higher mortality rate than radical nephrectomy. While no significant cancer-specific survival differences were recorded after partial nephrectomy for Fuhrman grade 3 and 4, and also for T3A lesions. They concluded partial nephrectomy may undermine cancer control in patients with tumor more than 7 centimeter. There is another paper which is by Christopher J. Long, again for the tumor size more than 7 centimeter. It was published in 2011. This was just the number of patients in this study were very small. 46 patients with 49 renal tumors more than 7 centimeter size who underwent partial nephrectomy were identified. The results were with a median follow-up of 13.1 months. there were 16 complications, including 4 blood transfusions and 6 urinary fistula. The 5-year and 10-year overall survival and cancer-specific survival were 94.5 and 70.9%. Although oncological outcome shows cancer-specific survival is in the range of 66 to 97%, series matching the partial nephrectomy and radical nephrectomy in patients with T2 RCC, renal cell cancer, shows equivalency in the RCC specific and overall survival. When reported, partial nephrectomy for tumor size more than 7 cm in size was associated with better renal function preservation. They concluded the partial nephrectomy can be safely performed in tumors more than 7 cm in size with acceptable technical, oncological, and functional outcomes. But further studies are warranted according to their results. Now, there is another study by Christopher J. Waite, published in 2010 in European Urology Journal, that is partial nephrectomy is associated with improved overall survival as compared to radical nephrectomy in patients with unanticipated benign renal tumors. They retrospectively evaluated 2,608 patients consecutively, clinical T1 enhancing renal masses that were treated by the extirpative surgery between the 1999 and 2006. Of these, 499 tumors were found to be benign on final pathology. Median follow-up of entire cohort was 50 months. Results were 5 years overall survival for the partial nephrectomy and radical nephrectomy cohorts were 95% versus 83% respectively. On multivariate analysis controlling for both comorbidity and age, radical nephrectomy was associated with 2.5 times increased risk of death as compared to partial nephrectomy. Post-operative EGFR was an independent predictor of overall survival and cardiac specific survival. But the retrospective nature of this analysis limits the strength of this conclusion. They concluded better partial nephrectomy was associated with better overall survival when compared to radical nephrectomy in patients with unanticipated benign tumors. This observed survival of better preservation of estimated GFR, but other kidney functions or unmeasured factors may also play a role. Now, this is a randomized controlled trial done by Hendrik van Poppel in European Urology, published in 2011. From March 1992 to January 2003, when the study was prematurely closed because of poor accrual, 541 patients with small, less than 5 cm, solitary T1, T2, and 0 tumors suspicious for renal cell carcinoma and normal contralateral kidneys were randomized to nephron-sparing surgery or radical nephrectomy in European Organization of Research and Treatment of Cancer, Genitourinary Group. The patients were randomized to nephron-sparing surgery or radical nephrectomy together with the limited lymph node dissection. Median follow-up was 9.3 years. The intention to treat analysis showed the 10-year survival rates of 81.1% for radical nephrectomy and 71.7% for nephron-sparing surgery. With a hazard ratio of 1.5, the test for non-inferiority is not significant, and the test for superiority is significant. In renal cell carcinoma patients and clinically and pathologically eligible patients, the difference is less pronounced, and the superiority test is no longer significant. Only 12 of the 117 deaths were the result of renal cancer. 21 patients progressed, that is 9 patients after radical nephrectomy and 12 patients after nephron sparing surgery. They concluded both methods provide excellent oncological results. In the intention to treat population, the nephron sparing surgery seems to be significantly less effective than radical nephrectomy in terms of overall survival. However, in targeted population of the renal cell cancer, there were no differences in the overall survival. Now, there is the open nephron sparing surgery versus minimally invasive partial nephrectomy. Now, this is the article published by Antonio Celia in 2008. They published 592 cases of the laparoscopic nephron sparing surgery from 12 centers, either in extraperitoneal or transperitoneal fashion. The mean tumor size was 2.2 centimeter. The intraoperative open conversion rate was 3.5%. The postoperative complications include bleeding and urinary leak. and no tumor seeding was reported. They concluded long-term survival after nephron-sparing surgery is comparable with that of the radical nephrectomy, and disease-specific survival is also similar in open nephron-sparing surgery and laparoscopic nephron-sparing surgery. This is another article by Francis. This is another article by Mayo's Clinic, which shows their experience with laparoscopic nephron-sparing surgery for renal tumors. It is published by Simon in 2003. From May 2000 to May 2002, a total of 20 laparoscopic partial nephrectomy were performed in 19 patients. The kidney was mobilized to allow adequate dissection, hemostasis, and inspection of the kidney. Cautery, harmonic scalpel, tissue link, etc. devices were used for dissection and hemostasis. Intact removal and biopsy of the lesion were done to assess the margin status. The mean age was 66 years. Mean tumor size was 2.1 centimeter, and average operating time was 130 minutes. The mean hospital stay was 2.2 days, and mean estimated blood loss was 120 ml, and no blood transfusions or conversion to open procedure was required. The complications include intraoperative fragmentation of a tumor in one case and postoperative dyspnea and postoperative bleeding and pneumonia in one case each. They concluded laparoscopic nephron-sparing surgery for small renal tumors can be performed safely and effectively. The technique depended on the size and location of the mass. Now there is another paper on surgical margins in renal cell carcinoma after nephron-sparing surgery. They compared laparoscopy and open surgery. It is done by Francesco Popglia and published in April 2005 in American Journal of Urology. They reviewed 64 consecutive patients who underwent nephron-sparing surgery for renal cell carcinoma of 4 cm or less retrospectively. They divided patients into two groups. Group 1 patients underwent open retroperitoneal surgery, and in group 2 underwent laparoscopic, that is surgery that is transperitoneal or retroperitoneal. A single pathologist was employed to analyze the specimen. Comparative analysis was done to including the examination of tumor size, weight, histological cell type, intraoperative histological biopsy, and margin status. The two groups were comparable in terms of clinical data, and mean lesion size was 3.1 centimeter in group 1 and 3.2 centimeter in group 2. Positive margin was found in one of the 30 patients in group 1 and one of the 34 patients in group 2. An analysis of margins was performed by taking measurements at the minimum and maximum points of section. The difference between the minimum and maximum margin thickness was 2.56 mm in group 1 and 3.16 mm in group 2. Mean follow-up for group 1 was 50 months and group 2 for 16 months. One local recurrence was recorded in group 1 and treated with radical nephrectomy, while no recurrence was recorded in group 2. They concluded that they confirmed the efficiency of resectioning lesions using laparoscopy, and they also concluded there is no difference between the two in terms of effective surgical margins. It is they said it is necessary to obtain more extensive follow-up data, which will allow us to be more specific in reporting on laparoscopic margin quality. Now there is another series on open and laparoscopic approach in 254 patients by Rojanek, published in 2010. They reviewed relevant data of 254 patients which underwent nephron-sparing surgery, either open or laparoscopic, with special focus on demographic data, operative details, pathologic results, and control. Open partial nephrectomy was performed in 220 patient procedures, and laparoscopic was performed in 34 patients. The mean ischemia time was 24.7 minutes. Average tumor size was 3.4 centimeter. In final histology, carcinoma was found in 193 patients and benign lesion was found 61 patients. Post-operative 20 patients. This follow-up was for 6 months, showing in 8 patients. Recurrence was observed in 4 patients. One patient developed a tumor in central kidney 20 months of partial nephrectomy. Another one 10 years. The cancer overall survival were 98% and 95% respectively. They concluded open partial nephrectomy is an effective technique of treatment of small renal tumors. In 2007, were followed up 5 years. while after open followed to 10 years. 10 years was 2 months. The metastasis-free survival rate was 90.2% and 90% after partial nephrectomy. For clinical even was baseline in the accounted for most observed differences. The median decrease in GFR 0.1% and 0.1% after the open. Multivariate analysis, predictors of all-cause mortality include advancing age, comorbidity, absolute indication, and recurrence-free survival, but not laparoscopic versus open operative approach. Similarly, the predictors of metastasis included absolute indication and predicted recurrence-free survival, but not the operative approach. They concluded the 10-year outcomes of laparoscopic NSS and open NSS are excellent, with limited risk of T1 renal cortical tumors. Overall survival at 10 years is mediated by the factors such as age, comorbidity, operative indications, and by cancer factors such as predicted recurrence survival, but not by the choice of operating techniques. Depends upon the surgeon's and experience. There is another robotic assisted, another paper by Masson et al. Published in 2013. It is a robotic assisted laparoscopic nephron sparing surgery for tumors over 4 cm. They assessed operative and pathological reports obtained after RAPN in over more than 4 cm. Between 2007 and 2011, 220 robotic NSS were performed at 6 French urology departments. Data were prospectively collected. The median follow-up was 26 months, median age at surgery was 62 years, and median renal nephrometry score was 7, while the median warm ischemia time was 23 minutes. Median overall median operating time and expected blood loss were 180 minutes and 100 ml respectively. Median tumor size was 4.5 centimeter. The 3 patients have positive surgical margins. Median length of stay was 5 days. 9 patients presented with the post-operative complications, of which 1/3 were considered major. That is Cleveland-Dindo classification 3B. Median pre-operative and post-operative estimated GFR was 80 and 75 milliliter per minute respectively. The 2 patients developed subsequent metastasis. The 2-year progression-free survival was 90.5%. They concluded the robotic assisted partial nephrectomy is a useful and acceptable approach for renal masses greater than 4 cm in size. When technically feasible, nephron sparing surgery provides promising short-term cancer-specific survival rates with acceptable morbidity. Tumor size is not a discriminant in selecting the surgery. That is, tumor size doesn't matter. Tumor size does not play a role in selecting the surgery, either lap or open. Now, there is another paper which shows how the people evolved from laparoscopic to robotic nephron sparing surgery. This is done by Apri Canario and published in 2015. They identified 347 patients in their database between 2000 to 2014. The patients were chronologically divided into 151 patients of laparoscopic partial nephrectomy cases, second group 152 cases of laparoscopic partial nephrectomy cases, and group 3 all residual robotic assisted partial nephrectomy patients. Trifecta outcomes were defined as warm ischemia time less than 25 minutes, no positive surgical margins, and complications less than Cleveland-Dindo 2. They showed tumor complexity significantly increased from G1 to G3. They also achieved low warm time and less high-grade complication, that is Cleveland-Dindo more than 3, from G1 to G2, from group 1 to group 2, and trend continued even with the transition to robotic assisted partial nephrectomy. Positive margin was consistently low throughout the transition. Renal functional outcomes always showed a significant positive, and with robotic assisted partial nephrectomy, there is improved recovery of the renal function. that is 44% versus 57% versus 82% respectively. The overall trifecta rates increased significantly from group 1 to group 2 and reached 81.8% in group 3, that is robotic partial nephrectomy. Multivariate analysis showed the use of robot has significant effect on achieving overall the trifecta outcomes. The limitations of the study are being retrospective and non-randomized, and trifecta definitions were not externally validated. They concluded in an experienced urologic laparoscopic center, transition to robotic assistance in nephron sparing surgery is feasible and faster without major adverse operating outcomes. A robotic assisted partial nephrectomy can potentially be a continuation of the laparoscopic partial nephrectomy experience and can result in superior renal functional outcomes. Future research can focus on devising a uniform standardized valid scoring system that I researched for trifecta outcomes that can serve as a marker for monitoring for the partial nephrectomy experience and reporting. Now, this is a meta-analysis done by Zia et al. And published in 2017. It included 19 cohort studies searched from PubMed and Embase and with 3,551 patients. And the primary outcomes were intra-op and post-op rate. The secondary outcomes were perioperative transfusion rates, positive surgical margin rate, operative time, warm ischemia time, estimated blood loss, length of hospital stay, and estimated GFR change. They showed the robotic assisted partial nephrectomy had lower rate post-operative complication, including the post-operative minor complication and post-operative major complication. Also showed they had lower need of transfusion. They had less expected blood loss. They have shorter length of stay, but they have longer operative times and longer in the primary analysis. Intraoperative complication and post-operative complication, post-operative surgical margin rate, short-term estimated GFR change did not differ between these two procedures. They concluded robotic assisted have the lower morbidity and achieve similar short-term functional outcomes as compared to open partial nephrectomy. But the evidence is limited regarding the long-term oncologic outcome. The surgical margin rate is similar between the two groups. Now, there is another paper by Wu et al., which is also a meta-analysis. They included 8 studies and Web of Science to the analysis, and with 3,418 patients, 757 patients in robotic group and 2,661 patients in the open group. They showed robotic partial nephrectomy has had a longer operative times, and robotic they have lower perioperative rate as 19.3% for robotic assisted and 29.5% for open partial nephrectomy. They also had shorter hospital stay, less estimated blood loss, but transfusions, conversion to radical nephrectomy, ischemia times, estimated GFR change, margin status, and overall cost were comparable between the two techniques. They concluded robotic assisted partial nephrectomy is an efficient alternative to open partial nephrectomy, an advantage of lower rate of peri-op complications, shorter length of hospital stay, and less blood loss. High quality prospective randomized studies with longer follow-up period are needed to confirm these findings. There is another paper. Now this paper is regarding the positive surgical margin after the nephron sparing surgery. What is the incidence, what is the clinical impact, and what is the management? It is published in Clinical Urinary Tract Cancer in 2013 by Marco Borghesi et al. They evaluated the incidence of positive surgical margin to assess their clinical and oncological impact to provide the overview of the possible management. They performed a non-systematic review of the literature in the Medline database from January 2002 to May 2012. They concluded the incidence of positive surgical margin in patients undergoing nephron sparing surgery for localized renal cell cancer is very low, that is 0 to 7%, and is associated only with the high grade tumors. No significant difference in the rate of partial nephrectomy in the rate of positive surgical margins are found when considering the surgical technique. the positive surgical margin are same in open partial nephrectomy, laparoscopic partial nephrectomy, or robotic assisted partial nephrectomy. The rate of local recurrence in patients found to be more prominent in patients with high-grade tumors. In follow-up studies, metastatic disease and cancer-specific survival in patients with positive surgical margin comparable to those in patients with negative margins. Immediate or delayed surgery should be done only in selected high-risk patients. And active and careful clinical surveillance should be the optimal first-line management option for most patients with positive surgical margin after the partial nephrectomy, considering the low risk of local recurrence, development of metastasis, and cancer-specific mortality. Now, this is the article which shows if we add preoperative sunitinib to decrease the tumor size, which may facilitate the partial nephrectomy in patients of renal cell cancer. The data is from the data from the potential candidates for partial nephrectomy treated with sunitinib with primary RCC in situ were reviewed retrospectively. Primary outcome was reduction in tumor bidirectional area. 72 patients for partial nephrectomy who received sunitinib before the definitive renal surgery on 78 kidneys were included. The median primary tumor size was 7.2 centimeter before and 5.3 centimeter after the sunitinib treatment, resulting in the 32% reduction in the tumor in the bidirectional area. Downsizing occurs in 65 tumors, that is 83%, with 15% of partial responses.